Alright, so we are going to test out a modification I made to the Bob the Builder loadout, and we're going to try it out on this control point here. Now, as you can see, it's pretty much the same. We've got the Alejandro, MG3. It's not maxed out on the attributes yet, but getting there. I used a lot of my resources to upgrade my core strength focus build, so I am definitely running low on resources. I do have about 120 something exotic components, but we all know how quickly those go when you're trying to jump everything up to level 30. So I probably have one more build I could do to bring up stuff that's already around this level, like 12 to 18 or 19. Yeah, I mean, it's very expensive. Then the what do you call it? Calibrations, they go really quick too. So I'm using everything from my scavenging to be able to get those. I'm not really a big fan. Oh shit! Should we pop it off with these guys here? Yeah, why not? I've got like 100-something% on my accuracy, so that is a plus. And as you can see with Bob the Builder, I'm dependent on I am really dependent on that extra armor, to be able to survive. Is there someone behind me? Oh no. Will you leave me the hell alone? I am getting lit up. Holy cannoli, this is bad. I do not have... oh no. Oh, it didn't kill me. Wow, okay. So that's a good thing about using this modifier with Bob the Builder is my Heartbreaker enhancement extra armor can protect me from that whatever it is, 80% of the enemy damage is sustained after the modifier active ability is over, which is really the biggest detriment, I think, to this this active modifier. I mean, if it didn't have that, it would be freaking great, but they're trying to I guess balance that. Now you can see this assault rifle is not anything special. I mean, it's not really compared to the AK-47 or whatever, but it does, it is a prototype, so it does have the random status effect ability on it, and that is a plus, but still, it's not that great. I don't like this sledgehammer, talent. That kind of pisses me off. We got a lot of people coming out the front. Backup's here. Oh no, leave them alone. I am almost out of ammo. I got about 2 boxes. As you can see, the head damage is considerable. And having the extra accuracy is very helpful with this. Yeah, so close quarters, you don't really need the ability from either Sawyer's knee pads or the Big Alejandro. But as you can imagine, the combination of those two together, since they're both about standing still and staying in cover, means incredibly high damage when you get, you know, into a good position and your enemy is lined up within 20 meters. You know, it just, as you could see, it just rips them apart. It was a named enemy and it was like butter. Now, when it gets to distance, though, that's kind of the catch. I don't have Vision Ario on this, so it's not going to give me the extra range. Everything is kind of intermediate, best case. And instead of depending on headshot to pulse them from a Heartbreaker, what I do is I depend on my pulse to activate that ability, and then I can stack up extra armor really quickly and not have to worry about landing headshots to do so, you know what I mean? It's obviously difficult to control the weapon though, that's kind of the catch. I mean, I'd say this is kind of a good, like, legendary stronghold type build because, you know, you're kind of, you're able to get all that extra armor, and that's really, you know, that's really going to be a game changer when it comes to, like, serious, you know, difficult situations.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Some more extra armor. Let's see how it works. Oh yeah, look at that. See? The extra armor protects me from this frickin' modifier. So that's a cool little unlock there. And obviously the closer I can get to them, the better. I mean, the Big Alejandro is nasty. It just levels these guys. Oh no, those are my guys. Sorry. It's pretty good at intermediate, you know, range too. Not incredible, but it does the trick. And of course, that headshot damage is clutch. Having really high headshot damage is kind of key with this build. If I get up close on a seriously armored enemy, I have to be able to dish out at least 150% weapon damage. Uh-oh, no, I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go through the window. But I guess it's like no ammo. I'm going to have to make this work. Great. Well, too late to double back there. So, it looks pretty good. It does the trick. It's a nice build. The armor is nowhere near the level that my core strength build was. It's like 2.4 million or something like that. This is only 1.3. Even though it really doesn't feel like it makes that much of a difference, honestly. So I don't know what's up with that. Whether that's some BS from their screw ups with these build parameters or equipment parameters. I mean, I've noticed some of these things just don't feel right, but yeah, it is definitely a good build, a build capable of handling legendary. I mean, if you do take a few direct hits in legendary, you're going to go down quick, but the fact that in cover and when still you get multiple weapon damage increases and armor, extra armor built up from pulsing the enemy with headshots or using the pulse itself. That's really good. When you're dealing with the heavies and legendary and they're walking towards you, they're not moving very fast, so you can lay those shots on easy. That is going to be very, very useful because you can triple your freaking armor with extra armor built up from hitting them with this LMG. Basically to the point where your big concern will just be ammo. This might even be a build where I would switch the skill tree for this LMG, or the minigun, which I'm trying to max this out, so that I could switch to a shotgun instead of an assault rifle, because I get enough range out of this LMG. And then you've got something with really high power, like the Thorn, is what I would recommend, like a prototype Thorn. Unfortunately, the Art Museum is the mission today for shotgun targeted loot in escalation, so I'm sure that mission is just as unpopular. It's a mission you have to have multiple people. I mean, you don't have to, but ideally, there's so many enemies coming out of so many different directions, and they're freaking hyenas, and it's just, yeah, it's a big time. I think they're hyenas. Are they hyenas? Maybe I'm mistaken. They might be cleaners. Or right? No, I think they're Rikers. That's what it is. They're Rikers. But anyway, yeah, it's just very difficult because they're coming out of all different directions. You have to keep resetting these stupid generators, and the enemy has a shield up, and it's just, yeah, very, very difficult. And I don't really feel like sacrificing my tokens to run that just for a shotgun. Not a weapon I use very often, so not high on my list of things to do. However, if I didn't farm for a shotgun, I wanted something more specific, I would probably do the Thorn, and I would upgrade it with the prototype cores that I have from breaking down other stuff, from playing the other escalations. And then I could get a Thorn that's maxed out on the damage, and that will be like, yeah, with the additional shotgun damage and additional weapon damage from the gear itself. Obviously, you can see this is not a prototype focus build. I got one prototype gear piece, one prototype weapon, well, two prototype weapons, but I barely use the pistol. It's more just about moving quickly, since that's a quick step. So, yeah, we've got this. I picked up targeted loot on one of the escalation missions. Unfortunately, it is not at weapon damage for the core attribute, which is, remember, that's what the focus of this one is. I flipped everything to weapon damage, everything from Heartbreaker, so that I'm not losing out on weapon damage. It's not an armor build, it's a damage build, but utilizing the extra armor from Heartstopper, which gives me a temporary version of the same kind of protection you would have normally under Heartbreaker, with all the core attributes being armor. So it's got a little extra here, as you can see. You know, nothing special, 41 or whatever, over what you normally get. I've got the vest going, 12 expertise level. We have armor regen, protection from elites as our mod. We have the spot on, which is honestly providing more accuracy than I probably need. I have 110 or 115% accuracy, so very accurate for an LMG, you know, especially an LMG like this, which just kind of sprays all over the place normally. So we got more accuracy than we really need with this build. I was thinking about, like, what could I switch about Urban Lookout. I'm reluctant to flip that to prototype because of how ridiculous the I mean, it can only improve, I know, but I don't know. It's just, I don't want to spend that many exotic freaking components on something that's not going to hook me up with the maximum freaking prototype level of whatever. That's the upshot. It'll really piss me off if I flip that to prototype and it's like, oh, 15 weapon damage still, and then it gives me, you know, a little more accuracy, and it's like, no. Which is exactly what it did with Visionario. And Overlord Armaments Fox's Prayer didn't do shit. It literally didn't change anything. They're all exactly the fucking same. Nothing changed. The only difference is it has the prototype augment. So that really, really pissed me off. At least the freaking Visionario, I got 75% extra range. You know, not extra, but 75% as the named item ability. And then it comes with the 70 that you get from the gear piece unlock. So I have, you know, serious freaking boost in range, in effective range, which is great for, you know, an LMG build. That's what I turned the, what do you call it here? Let me show you. That's what I converted my Blitzkrieg to. Wait, no, yes, that's right, Blitzkrieg. So that has the Visionario on it, and it has the, you know, the 70% additional range, optimal range from the two-piece unlock, and then it has a 75% from the named gear piece benefit. So, you know, that's, yeah, that's good. 145, that's nice. It's tasty. So that thing rips it up at distance now, which is a plus. But again, you need that accuracy to get those rounds on target, or a shitload of weapon handling. Something to think about if you decide to do a build with that kind of setup, that you can't compromise on weapon handling or accuracy. Weapon handling is going to include accuracy. Just because you have optimal range, you'll just be missing all the rounds. They won't hit the target, and then if you don't hit your target, and you're not going to be getting the weapon damage you need. So, you know, that's kind of the compromise there. And in doing that, you're going to have to make sure the attributes of the gear you have equipped are kind of aligned with that. It might require a little bit of farming to get it to a place where you're comfortable. Yeah, you see, I'm not really a fan of this AR. I know if I fire in bursts, as I've reiterated over and over, it will increase the accuracy, but even it's a very slow firing assault rifle, so it just doesn't, I don't know. If I want a slow firing assault rifle, I want one with a little bit more damage, like the AKM. It's basically an AK-47. Get the health damage, the additional headshot damage, but it has streamline, and I should have put breadbasket on it. Well, actually, this one was dropped, but the point is, usually I put streamline, but the problem with streamline is it is not during cooldowns only. It's when an item is active, a skill is active too, and because of that, it's kind of, you know, a problem, because you're losing streamline when your skill's active, and you're using the skill pretty much the whole time. especially with the pulse. So, the pulse is going to be almost an instant cooldown thing. I mean, yeah, it's not a very long wait, but still. Um, yeah. But yeah, that's basically that. I think it's a decent setup, and as you can see, I'm not quite there yet with the. In fact, let's go back to the White House. We'll see if this gameplay got me any additional points toward this minigun, and if so, I'll pop those in there. And the sooner I can get it maxed out, the better. I don't really use this signature weapon. That's why this is the one item I have not. This one and the shoulder-fired rocket. I just don't like the way they perform in a fight. So, that's kind of the reason that they're not where the rest are. You see, 130 out of 165. 35. Okay, so now I can max it out. 35 available points. All right, good. So I guess that few things I did brought me up to par. You see, I've got the shotgun. So I do have a shotgun on here as the other 15%, which is good. This will improve. Okay, so yeah, that's good. Rate of fire. Okay. That's useful. Look, the weapon handling increase when not moving. That benefits works both with Big Alejandro and with the Sawyer's knee pads. And then pulse resistance, not really much of a concern.
Incoming backup request.
And there's nothing else I can use this on except for the pistol, just because of the way they set this up. You can't do more than 3 weapon enhancements. So that's it, maxed out. And yeah, now this, I mean, it's on its way toward being a decent, a decent build. Once I get the rest of these prototyped, when I have enough that I'm comfortable doing it. I don't want to use up all my freaking exotic components, getting everything in this build up to level 30 just for one build, especially a build I don't use very often, with a signature weapon I don't use very often. So that's kind of the reason I'm hesitant to do that. The spot on I do use a lot, so I'll probably bring that one up, honestly. But again, like, I know it's just going to do the fucking accuracy, and it's not going to do the... So it's not even really going to benefit this build, because I'm already over 110% accuracy on this build, and I can show you right now. Well, no, wait. Wait a second. Now it's showing it at 70. Okay, so it's at 103 with the rifle. It's at 73 with the pistol. And it's 73 with that. Well, it was showing 110 something before, but maybe that was from this event. Maybe I built up additional I don't know what the... So I guess, yeah, I could do that, and that could be beneficial to this build. So I guess that means that just whatever I stack up from playing during this season would just be even more,
That's what I've got.
icing on the cake, right? So we don't really need to go over here to do it, but we might as well. No, we're not going to craft. We're going to tinker, kind of. There we go. The spot on. Yeah, so this, yeah, you see, it's like, I'm really doubting it's going to do any enhancement on weapon damage.
Try making leather.
And I only have 122. But you see, and you go through, and yeah, I can't even go that much higher anyway because I don't have enough freaking to buy the, what do you call it? I have to run more missions and stuff to be able to get the field recon data that I need. So yeah, now it's basically just about the scavenging thing and how much I can get from running missions and doing stuff like that. So yeah, I couldn't get there right now if I even wanted to. So, but you see what I'm getting at. It could be a pretty good setup then, especially if I scrap this for the Heartbreaker that has weapon damage right here, and I flip this to prototype instead. That should give me maximum weapon damage under the prototype tier scale, I believe of 22. So that should be cool. I hope. I have not upgraded any items with the core attributes flipped though to prototype yet. So, and there seems to be a lot of glitches with that and whatnot. So I'm a little bit, a little bit reluctant to try that out because I don't want it fucking everything up. I don't want this being flipped then back to armor. That would really piss me off. Because the whole point, as you can see, I already have an armor one. And then my other character, I have an armor one that's up at like level 18. And I used to use a lot of armor focused builds until I just got sick of the lack of damage and said, you know what, screw this. I'm putting everything pretty much at damage. I'm keeping my armor level at no less than 1.1. That's my minimum for the way I play. That's a comfortable level. I can work with 1.1, especially with repair skill like the fixer drone running the whole time in a fight, and then armor regen and health, like 2 items health, 3 items armor regen, maxed out attributes. Gives me a pretty fast armor regeneration. Even if I take some nasty hits, I just roll to cover, boom, wait a few seconds, blind fire, whatever. My armor is already back to 75%, and then I can, get into aiming again and deal that damage I want. And then, of course, the headshot ability, especially from brand set and gear set unlocks, is going to make it compensate for those shortcomings based on the build and having to be stationary to get the maximum effect and whatnot. Because if they're walking up on you with a heavy, I know you got to break the helmet and that's a pain. But with really high accuracy, really high cyclic rate, you're putting so many rounds on target that you should break the helmet pretty quickly. You should break the helmet in one box. And if you're playing with other people in like legendary and all that, or higher tier escalations, believe me, they're going to be valuing your LMG as a suppressive weapon, a support weapon. Because while you're laying down all that heavy fire, it's keeping most enemies in cover, and it gives them the chance to work around on the flanks, hit those criticals. So, yeah, that's that for now. I haven't done a video in a while, but yeah, I decided I think this is a good one to do. So.